clock on the screen. That is a running clock. You have got to know when you speak. So if you are the proposition, you speak first for 1 minute. Does everybody see that? That 1 minute is a running clock. So you speak from 5 minutes all the way down to 4 minutes and 0.01 seconds. And you fill that time. If you can't fill that time, then everybody at your table literally just sits and waits. That is your time. But as soon as it hits 4 minutes, it is a seamless transition between the proposition and the opposition. And so the opposition at 4 minutes exactly steps in. And they fill that whole minute, all the way down to like 3 minutes and 0.01 seconds or whatever. And then it flips back to the proposition. Everybody is looking at their debate timing sheet. And then flips back to the opposition. The opposition's last thing is 1 minute long, right? But then if you'll notice, the opposition then turns around and goes again for 30 seconds. So you wrap up your stuff and then you're making your closing arguments in that 30 seconds, and then it transitions back to the proposition for their closing arguments. When the timer goes off, the room goes silent. Nobody speaks. And judges, you essentially have somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 seconds to go back through and make sure, have I checked everything I was supposed to check? Have I tallied everything that I was supposed to tally? And come up with 2 scores and decide on your winner. If between the judges there's a difference between who they think wins, it comes down to those points. So if I think that Nolan won and Addie thinks that Jake won, then we would add our scores together for Nolan, add our scores together for Jake, and whoever won points-wise wins. That makes sense? But it's a very, very fast decision. Okay? Once you got your score figured out, then you're going to have this sheet of paper, and this is your bracket, and everything is going to get recorded on this bracket. Again, it's very fast. I figure it out, I tally it up, I score it, I record it. Along the top of this are your matches. Again, everybody's looking up here. Along the top of this are your matches. And so I can see that match 1 is going to be person A versus person D, or team A versus team D. Okay? In every group, everybody's going to have a letter. Person A, person B, person C, person D. You should be able to fill out. So where it says person A, or it's team A, you're putting whoever those people are, you write their name in both spots. You write their names in both spots. Whoever person B is, write their names in both spots, or team B, C, and D. Then when you record on here, you'll notice that I've given you kind of an example of like next to each person, like A versus B, there's already a plus and a minus. You're actually going to scratch that out, and whoever was positive, whoever was negative, you're going to write the plus by their name, or plus by their letter, and a minus by the other letter. Do not talk. Okay? And so you should have been able to record their scores, and who won, and then whoever won should have gotten a tally mark in the number of games won column. Okay? So you record the scores in 2 spots in this table. And then you read it from left to right just like you would read it. You don't read it vertically, you read it left to right. So by the time that we're done, we should be able to see, okay, person A had this many wins. Person B had this many wins. Person C had this many wins. Does that make sense? And those are going to translate to those scores. So if you take first in your pool, you'll get 4 points. Second place is going to get 3 points. Third place is going to get 2 points. Fourth place is going to get 1 point. And those points are how you get seated in the tournament. Okay? All right. As that's happening and everybody's rotating, what needs to be happening is that whoever is the next face-off people need to be doing rock, paper, scissors to figure out who is pro and who is con. If your group already knows, like let's say that Nolan wants to be con and Morgan wants to be pro, then they don't even have to do rock, paper, scissors because the goal is for it to be fast. Okay? But as they're going through, if they both want to be pro or they both want to be con, then they're going to do rock, paper, scissors. So it's 1, 2, 3, shoot. and then whoever wins gets to choose if they're pro or if they're con, and then that's when your judge records that on the sheet. As soon as all the judging has been put together, then it needs to be, again, a very quick, like 30-second transition between the end of that match, we got it all recorded, to the beginning of the next match. And so how do I know who's going against each other, who's facing off? It's person A versus B next. And so people would switch and do what they need to do to get ready to go. Yes, everybody's clear on that? You're going to have a judge that's responsible for this. So even though judges rotate, one judge, whoever that is going to be responsible for filling this out. At your tables, you'll notice that the two people who are the closest to each other, those are the two people who are going to be facing off. For teams, same thing. It's the two people who are closest to each other. Those people are the ones with their manila folders and their supplies and things out on their desks. The two people farthest away from each other, or the four people farthest away from each other, are your judges. Judges do not need manila folders at all. As a matter of fact, all their stuff is going to be all collected and it's going to sit underneath their judging rubric. And so a judge is ready when they are seated with their folder underneath that plastic sheet. They need a plastic sheet, they need something to erase with, and a whiteboard marker. And if they've got those things, they're ready to go. And a judge never speaks. The only time a judge speaks is to report a score. Does that make sense? And the only people who speak during the debate are the people who are debating, and then when the debate's over, they're done. Because we've got to make sure that it's quick. As you're going through the debate, okay, things that you need to know. Number one, you got to start quick. There is no, hi, my name is blank, and I'm going to be reporting for the opposition, right? You just jump in. Start with an argument. Globalization is a terrible thing because whatever, and you go. Or globalization is an essential piece of our economy. Go. You just jump in, okay? And if I'm trying to use good language, then I make sure that everything I say is powerful. But if I'm trying to dismantle somebody else's argument, I can't insult them. My tone can't insult them, my behavior can't insult them, my words cannot insult them. I have to take apart their argument with positive word choice. So if I'm arguing with Nolan and he says something that I don't agree with, I would say, while Nolan makes a valid point about how goods are distributed throughout the world, what his argument fails to acknowledge is how the spread of those goods exploits people in developing countries. Everybody see what I'm talking about? Yes? So you dismantle their argument, but it's still through positive language. My tone and my words are going to be very careful not to offend. And judges, if you'll notice at the bottom of your judging rubric, that is included on there. Okay? Alright, here's how an actual face-off works. You get in, you figure out what match you're doing, you get set up for the match. There's a 5-minute timer on the screen. Okay? Whoever is going to be your person who's starting it, they're going to do a countdown. They're going to say 3, 2, 1, face-off. And as soon as they say face-off, the timer is going to start and you're responsible for the rest of it. It goes all the way till that timer goes off, room goes silent, finish judging, report your scores, shift to the next match. Everybody got it? Okay, 3, 2, 1, face-off.